Fundy.
And I'm Austin.
And welcome back to
The Dyson Quill,
the web series where we give you, the viewers, our views, topics, opinions, and discussions about everything role-playing. Today, we are going to be continuing our series on what I like to call the Big Four. We're talking classes, okay? We've done Fighter. We've done Cleric. Now, you know him, you love him, or you hate him. He's sneaky. You can't fight him no more because he's coming up right behind you with a knife. He is
the rogue. So, what is a rogue? So your stereotypical image of rogue, some characters that everyone knows, Han Solo is a rogue. Robin Hood is a rogue. So that I want to say roguish, but that would not contradict, but that wouldn't really play well. He's your swashbuckling buccaneer kind of guy, you know. Talks his way out of everything. Kind of mischievous as well.
James Bond.
James Bond is a very good example of a rogue. I actually didn't think of that. Thank you. So, numbers. Your preferential attributes. Most important attribute for a rogue is going to be your dexterity. He's fast, light on his feet. He's a very light character. You're not going to have a lot of hit points. Your constitution is going to be one of the lowest on your 6 skills. So if you're lucky, you may have 8 hit points at first level. If you're not, 6. So one good backhand will basically get you out of the game. Which is why you can depend very, very heavily on that super high dex modifier because of the AC bonus it's going to give you, making you harder to hit. Your next preferred attribute, and this will really depend on how you want to play your rogue. Either intelligence or charisma are tied for that second or third place. I'll go with intelligence first. Intelligence gives you more skills. Every time you level up, you get more skills. At first level, you get 8 plus your intelligence modifier. So let's do an intelligence of 3 from this example. So 11 times 4. So 44 skill points at first level that you can allot to your skill. That's a lot of points. Especially when you compare it to like a fighter, a cleric would get like 6 or 7 skill points at first level.
And then if we're using that 3 modifier, every level,
exactly,
you get 11 more points.
Exactly. Every level you get more skill points than what you really know what to do with. Well, or you could know if you plan correctly. Charisma is going to really help you out when it comes to talking your way out of situation. Let's say this orc here wants to bash my head in, and as a rogue with high charisma, I can now convince him that it is not in his best interest to bash my skull in with his club because he may get blood on his brand new club.
He's got a point.
Yep. Being a rogue, a charismatic rogue, doesn't necessarily mean that he's a thief or a lady killer. It can mean any number of things. Charisma just helps people's perception of you. And a lot of your utility skills will rely on your charisma modifiers, like bluff. In that example, I used my bluff skill to convince him that he shouldn't kill me. But bluff can also be used when you're a rogue. When you go to town and you need to sell something, you can hike up the prices of what you're wanting for. You essentially become the moneymaker for your party.
Or if you're wearing a disguise.
Or if you're wearing a disguise. You know, you use your disguise ability or skill to disguise yourself. Which ties into our pros and cons.
So, the pros of being a rogue. High damage. High skills. And when we're talking high damage, especially when you get into higher levels, you're one-shotting guys and you're stealing kills from other players because you're sneaking around the back and you're slipping your dagger right through the rib cage. The fighter's been working on this guy for the past 6 rounds, and here you just pop out of nowhere, slit
right in the jugular,
right there, done. Fighter's like, "What are you doing here?" You know. You're a rogue. That's what you do. Get over it, man. Think like a ninja. You know? Ninja is another good example of what a rogue is. And so, again, you're sneaky. You're the night work guy. Things like that. Cons.
So, like I covered earlier, you do not have a lot of hit points. That's one of your biggest cons. But don't let that deter you.
You are weak as French fries. To keep it PG-13. And the other con is, again, you're only doing that big, massive hit of damage if you can pull it off with the sneaking and the stealth and things like that. Other than that, if you're in your face kind of fighting, you're not doing very much damage, and you're not able to take very much damage. So you're kind of screwed. So that goes with the equipment and the proficiencies that we're going to jump right into. And that is, you gain proficiency in all simple weapons, plus rapiers, short swords, hand crossbows, short bows. Okay? So you've got a little bit more than just the simple weapons, but we're talking dexterous weapons. We're talking small weapons, concealed weapons. Rogues and bastard swords do not mix.
No.
Rogues and pole arms do not mix.
But that rests on you, but we heavily advise against that.
Alright. I mean, short spear's a simple weapon.
I kind of want to see that, though. A rogue axe murderer.
Well,
I want to see that.
I mean, hand axe. That's...
like full-on Dwarven Urgosh rogue. I want to see that.
Gross. Anyway, sorry about that. Armor, you're relegated to light armor only. And even then, it's highly inadvisable to go with the heaviest of light armor, being a chain shirt, because that's going to affect your stealth. That's going to affect your move silently. That's going to affect some of your skill checks.
Numbers-wise, it severely limits your dex modifier.
Yeah, wouldn't do it. So pretty much, you're rocking leather armor. Get used to it. That's going to be your life. Leather armor.
Mm-hmm.
No shields.
Nope.
No shields. And so that's what you got. And that can be a pro or a con. I mean, the pro is that you're light, you're quick, you're easy to hide and stash away. The con is, again, you are, kind of weak. If you're cornered by some big guys, you're effed in the A, dude.
So we mentioned earlier doing a massive amount of damage. Every rogue gets a sneak attack ability. And basically what it does is, let's use the dagger, which is a very common rogue weapon. Daggers only do 1d4 plus your strength worth of damage, and I'll tell you how you can optimize that here in a little while. Now with your sneak attack, it'll only work on creatures or beings with discernible vital organs, so like a human being. There's a lot of vital organs here. Jugular, brain, all that good stuff. So, against an undead, with it being dead, you don't really have a vital organ, or the big gelatinous cube, no vital organs there. So it's there's certain times where you can't use it, but the majority of your enemies will have vital organs. So basically, the numbers. What this does is allow you to do, at first level, an extra 1d6 worth of damage on top of your whatever you're rolling for damage. Which, at first level, any extra die you get to roll on top of your damage is already a lot more damage. And as you progress, as every 2 rogue levels, you get an additional d6 worth of damage to your sneak attack. So, as you get higher level, you get more dice to roll, which means more damage. I believe it maxes out 6d6 worth of bonus damage. So, let's say you roll max damage for just your bonus dice alone. That's an extra 36 additional damage that you're doing on top of what you're doing with your dagger. So, 1d4. Let's say our strength modifier is 1. 4. Max damage on that too. So 4 plus 1 is 5, and let's say I rolled max damage with my 6d6. 5 plus 36 is 41. Let's say for an instant that I crit on that dagger strike. You now multiply 41
by 2.
You're now doing 82 damage.
And that's if you just got a regular dagger. I mean, if you're that high level, you probably got a magical dagger that's doing extra stuff on top of that.
Right, so you have the ability to put out massive amounts of damage. You could quite feasibly one-shot like a skeleton lord or something like that. It's very, very feasible.
Well, not a skeleton lord, because it has discernible anatomy.
Right. Well,
vital organs.
Right. But you become the bane of your party because you kill steal everything once you start doing those sneak attacks.
Yeah, you do.
Mm-hmm.
And you do it with a smile.
On your face, because that's what you do. You're a rogue.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So, useful skills for that rogue. To use, what am I going to do with all these skill points that I got because I'm a rogue? Obviously, move silently. Obviously,
Open lock.
Obviously, hide. Obviously,
Escape artist.
use rope, disguise, bluff, things like that. Less obviously, craft toxins.
So, as a rogue, like I said, standard without all that extra dice, you don't put out a lot of damage. But you can take advantage of your rogue and his knowledge of toxins to craft poisons when you're in town. You slip away from the rest of the group. You have knowledge of plants that may paralyze your enemies or poison your enemies. You go...
Dip it in there.
Right. You poison your blade, and now you have a more potent weapon. So there's a lot of ways you can max out your rogue.
Oh, yeah. Again, let's not forget appraise and things like that, especially when it comes to maybe selling some less than desirable items or artifacts. You want the best price you can get kind of thing. Mm-hmm. It's going to help you manage money better and yada, yada, yada. Feats. What feats to go good with a rogue?
My opinion, personally, as a rogue, I will always take weapon finesse. It will allow you to use your dex modifier for light melee weapons, which is what you have access to in anyways. So now, instead of using your strength modifier of 1 from the example from earlier, you're using your dex modifier of 4. Or 3.
Whatever your dex modifier is, which should be the highest modifier you got. Yeah, that's a no-brainer. That should be number 1. Mm-hmm. I like to think of combat expertise to be a good one. Combat expertise allows you, if you have the ability to do an attack of opportunity, with combat expertise you can do extra attacks of opportunity equal to your dexterity modifier. So if you got an 18 dexterity, it's a +4, and if you're sneaking right and nobody knows you're there and you're within range of that orc battling your fighter, that orc trips up and you're able to get in an attack of opportunity, guess what, buddy? You're hitting them 5 freaking times.
And one of the best sounds for a rogue is all that dice clanging around in your hands as you go to just roll.
Let me just grab a whole bunch of D20s here. Sorry for your luck there, fighter. I'm taking this XP, buddy.
So, rogues, like we said, have the ability to do a lot of damage. And there's a bunch of cool feats, all of which can be found on page 90 and 91 of the 3.5 edition Player's Handbook.
All right. Now, which goes to... what is the role of the rogue?
So, in my opinion, the role of the rogue is you're the scout, the pathfinder of sorts. If you're dungeon crawling with your party, your job is to kind of scout ahead, but not too far in case you need to fall back, and find where all the traps are, disable the traps, unlock doors, and just look for hidden passages and things like that. Basically, you're trying to figure out what your party is up against.
I like to think of you as the night worker. Anything that the party needs to get done that is a little bit more nefarious, a little less
reputable,
nice. You're the guy who's going to get that done. You're the guy who is the best at, hey, man, we need these healing potions or whatnot because we're dumb and we don't have a cleric in our party, but we don't have enough money. Rogue looks at him and says, be back, buddy. Comes back a couple hours later, throws a coin purse in your hands, and says, I'll meet you outside of town. Town guard is after me. We're all probably wanted, so you probably got to shop fast. That's the rogue's job.
Now, don't take these description of our rogues as a interpretation that you're only playing evil rogues. Chaotic good and neutral good rogues will act in this manner as well, because in essence, neutral goods and chaotic goods, as we had covered in another video, you're kind of serving your own interests, and the interests just happen to fall in line with the rest of your party.
Right.
So it's not restricting you to an alignment in any order. Actually, I don't think you can be a lawful rogue. That doesn't work.
Lawful evil would be more like a thieves guild leader. And so that's pretty much the role of a rogue. It's high damage, high skill use.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get
Lots of
hit.
skill points.
Don't get hit.
Do not get hit.
So, final thoughts. You want to be a spy. You want to be a ninja. You want to be a con man. Be a rogue.
Mm-hmm. Or a swashbuckling buccaneer.
Yeah. You want to swoon the ladies.
Yeah.
You want to be that guy.
You can definitely do that.
Be a rogue.
So, and that wraps up our video of the rogues. And if you made it this far in the video, thank you for hanging around. If you're just now joining us at this video, thank you, and welcome to the Dice and Quill. We also have a Facebook community called D20 and Friends, which is now an open group. So feel free to stop by, leave a comment, check us out, check out what we're doing, participate. You know, the community of role players is among the friendliest I've ever met in my life. Everyone is more than welcome to welcome newcomers to the fold. So don't get intimidated. You know, show up on the page, leave a comment, ask a question. You'll get hundreds of good answers, I promise. And that being said, we are trying to grow our community. We're at 76 right now. Hopefully, we're trying to hit 100 by December. Also, as well, if you want to support us, please hit like and subscribe on our YouTube channel. And by all means, share us with your friends and family if they're into role-playing or if you think they're into role-playing.
Oh, yeah. You'd be surprised.
You'd be very surprised. Other than that, that's all for today, folks. I'm Austin.
And I'm Fundy.
And once again, this is
The Dice and Quill.
Stay nerdy, guys.
Bye-bye.